It's okay, Blessing. You don't have to be really smart because you're blind. It's okay. You lift me up. You lift me up. When the world gets cold, then it's all too much. Hey guys, my name is Blessing Offor, and this is The Testimony. It's funny, I feel like mine's really boring because my dad, from when I was a kid, just had us in church. And so knowing Jesus was just as natural as like, good morning. It was just in us. And I'm sure at some point it became like my adult faith, but it always was, and it still is when I go home, and, happy to say it doesn't, you don't depart from it. So I was born in Nigeria. So my dad in Nigeria used to preach at our home church, and he was just like, it's funny because I tell people and they think it's like I'm being facetious, but literally if you go home right now, if you were to run into my dad, within 10 minutes he'd tell you about Jesus. You know what I mean? So he's very, very in love with the Lord. We were steeped in it from an early age. So it's in our DNA. All of us, as soon as we could talk, started learning John 3:16. Such a cliche. If there's one to start with, it's probably that one. You know what I mean? I think as a kid, it was mine. You know how your parents walk you through childhood, right? But at some point, for me, like I'm a thinker. So there's a moment where I realized, oh wait, this doesn't just feel good. Here are the ways you think through it, and here's why it makes logical sense and why you can defend it. Like I started reading C.S. Lewis. I started reading G.K. Chesterton. I'm a nerd. I'm so sorry. So I started reading theologians, you know what I mean? Once I learned the philosophical and intellectual beauty of it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in 1,000,000%. I low-key met Chris Tomlin. And out of nowhere during pandemic, I get a text and it's Chris, and he heard a song of mine and came to my apartment on a random Tuesday. Right when pandemic was getting crazy, and I played him a bunch of songs, and literally here we are. It was through Chris Tomlin that my deal came through, and obviously I'm a Christian, so I was like, I think there's something here, you know what I mean? And so that was the beginning of everything. People get confused when I go, well, I'm not a Christian already, blah, blah, blah. I like to say I make music for my friends in Brooklyn because I don't know the last time they were in church, and it's okay. And I still want them to find or be able to find themselves in the songs I write. So I try to keep it pretty open to whoever wants to listen as a low barrier to entry. So it's not necessarily what you would think of as Christian music, but it is made by a Christian, so it is by default. It's funny, I grew up for the first 6 years of my life in a third world country, and then I grew up in Connecticut, and then I moved to Nashville, and then I lived in New York. I lived in LA for a hot second. I've been a lot of places, and it's funny how so incredibly similar everyone is in the little things we all want, which is to be understood and to be loved and to be cared about and to be given grace and to be reminded that whatever it is you're going through, everybody's going through it. It's never made sense to me that I need to make music for any one little niche of people. I just make music for people because in all my experience, people are so incredibly similar, way more than culture might lead you to believe. You know what I mean? So I think that's my big takeaway in my music and in the way I live is just that assume that the guy you're standing next to has a lot in common with you until otherwise proven. You know what I mean? Like we are all humans and we are all kind of trying to human together. When you are an immigrant, especially from where I'm from, you come to America to get degrees behind your name. You come to, my uncle's a lawyer. He has a law firm, you know what I mean? He did the thing. Most Nigerians from where I'm from that you meet are probably in the medical field or in finance or in engineering, you know what I mean? So when I went, I really think there's something about music that I need to keep chasing. I felt crazy, but I knew I was right. I knew that my sense of what I was supposed to do was correct. So that took a lot of trust to kind of chase that and ignore everything else that I'm supposed to be doing technically or culturally. And just to be like, no, like, I know this isn't my ego. I know that when I play music, I feel at rest and at peace in a way that nothing else makes me feel, and I need to chase that. Actually, I love that question. I think I balance my faith with public life by living like I say I'm living. Like, I live as authentically as possible. So if you know me in person, then you know me on stage, and you know me in a crowd, and you know me anywhere. Like, I just try to be myself thoroughly all the time, and that makes life so easy. I can like rattle off so many of those to you. When I tell people I lived in New York, they go, why would you live in New York? It's so crazy, blah, blah, blah. I actually love New York. You know, people think it's dangerous and blah, blah, blah. And you know, I'm sure everywhere's dangerous, but I remind people New York has 9 million souls in it. You know what I mean? And per capita, you're safer in New York than Nashville, you know, which sounds crazy, but it's true. And I cannot tell you how many times I've walked onto a subway and, you know, people talk about alarm bells going off. I don't know about alarm bells, but just something in your gut goes, step off of this, right? And then you can either go, no, I want to get home, or you can go, okay. And I've always gone, okay. And so there are 3-4 times where that's happened so clearly to me. And I don't know what would have happened. I don't know what I avoided, but I know it was not anywhere I needed to be. And it was just this like knowing, the spirit, if you will. But like just a very clear knowing of just like, no, not this one. Oh yeah, you're gonna be 15 minutes late, but get off of this car. And the answer is always yes. And you just step back and let the train go. And again, it's like, I don't know, maybe nothing. But you don't ignore those inner subconscious, subliminal spirit voices. You know what I mean? You just do it. It's funny, when you move to Nashville, you hear 10-year town, you hear all the good and bad and all the, you know, but I have had some really hurtful things happen in Nashville that I can only look back on and go, I needed to learn that. And it didn't feel good then, but it taught me exactly the tools I needed to be where I am now. And had I not gone through those things, I would still be ill-prepared for where I am now. Someone said to me once, you're in a storm because God knows your enemies can't swim. I love stuff like that. Like, I went through that because I needed a different toolbox for the future, right? Nothing you go through is ever an accident. And there are just so many things in my past from just the entertainment world where you go, I needed that wisdom, and that wisdom could have only come from that bit of heartbreak. God is redeeming so many things from the last, 9 years of living here, and it's all been really beautiful. You know what? I would say it starts from when I was a kid, and my parents never treated me any differently, right? And so I was never like, it's okay, Blessing, you don't have to be really smart because you're blind, it's okay. Like, it was always like, hey, you are brilliant. And you are no less brilliant because you can't see. So we expect still the highest things from you. Knowing that and being told that, I was able to expect that of myself. Part of the reason I got so good at music so fast was because there was a season where I literally, because I'd had so many surgeries, I had to sit and do nothing. And in that doing nothing, I was like 10, 11, I discovered the piano and I was obsessed. So that whole summer, I played piano because I couldn't go run around. And in hindsight, that's why we're here. I always tell people I very much try, because here's the thing, I can do the little sad violin thing. I hate that stuff, right? But I love being able to go, anything you're going through, if you let it, is for a reason. I got to have this really great conversation with a guy in town where I said to him, I have a theory that there are no accidents if you get to where you like who you've become, who it's shaped you into. And if you get to that place, then you wouldn't take that accident back or that incident back, you know what I mean? But what that takes is a lot of trust and a lot of being open to learning, you know what I mean? Because everything is about learning if you let it. Ooh, girl, okay. I would say the way we understand distance is not the way God understands distance. And that whatever distance you feel is your concept, not his, because God is there. So whatever far you feel is your feeling, right? And your feeling and reality are not the same thing. So you're not far, even though you feel far. Sometimes we elevate our feelings to be the ultimate, and they're not. Is there anything I wish people understood about Jesus? Jesus is not something we discovered in America, right? I'm a Nigerian, and my dad was one of the first Christians in our family. And there are people in China and Iraq and anywhere in the world you can think of, and they are discovering and have already discovered Jesus. And I think sometimes we have Jesus in this evangelical box, and that is such a disservice to ourselves and to Jesus, because he is bigger and better and more nuanced and more understanding and more gracious than we let him be when we are culturally Christian. Does that make sense? I want to leave behind a giant paper trail, so to speak, of people who go, that guy really cared about people. There's a guy named Tim Keller, and he says, if you read the New Testament, you see that Jesus was interruptible, right? He'd be on his way to one thing and someone would stop him and he'd be like, okay, let's go, right? He was open for adventures. And I want to be someone that's interruptible. So I hope that that's my legacy and that I have a family who carry on that legacy. This one is on radio right now. It goes something like this. Sometimes I feel like I just keep pretending when I'm slowly going out of my mind. And I feel like you could be the one who would catch me when my wings won't fly. Would you lift me up? Would you lift me up when the world gets cold and it's all too much? Sometimes I need somebody to remind me what I'm made of. Oh, when I'm breaking down, running low on love, need a hand to hold, wanna feel your touch. Sometimes I need somebody to remind me what I'm made of. Oh, and lift me up. My pleasure, guys. Thank you.